Hello, everyone. Hi. So I'm from the Climate and Forest Initiative. I wanted to introduce us a little bit and say that we are a governmental initiative here in Norway, based in the Ministry of Climate and Environment, where we sit on around $500 million per year that we try to use to combat tropical deforestation by providing a financial incentive for countries that reduce deforestation and by giving grants that try to address the root causes of deforestation, unsustainable supply chains, actual poverty alleviation. There are a number of lists. Now, I'm actually not so much here to talk about us, but I'm here to talk about satellites, because satellites are fun and amazing and very distant. But satellites can be a great source of information about lands and areas. And there's an old axiom that says that information is crucial to making good decisions. So satellites can be a fantastic source of information over land areas, over forests, especially because they can cover large areas relatively consistently, reliably, and they can especially cover remote areas that are difficult to get to, such as the middle of a rainforest. We're used to seeing this kind of satellite information, those of us who at times use smartphones and Google Maps. And this is because the world has come very far in the last 10 years, built on freely available, publicly available satellite data. So we're all used to seeing satellite data now, but all data is not created equal. Thanks to the United States and the EU, there is freely available satellite imagery, the kind of thing we see on the screen, kind of looks like a photograph, of a certain resolution available. When we're zooming in on Google Maps to a center of a rich city such as Oslo, we will see highly detailed images, such as the ones at the top here. These are not freely available. These are commercial images that must be purchased. What's freely available for the rest of the world, and what you will see if you zoom into the middle of the rainforest in some area, is at best the bottom corner of a 10-meter pixel resolution. In our field of combating tropical deforestation, we've found that there's a high need for higher resolution imagery, for better analysis of deforestation trends, of forest degradation, for law enforcement, detecting illegal logging, for tracking afforestation and the growth of plants, for having images that are so detailed that you can see individual trees. And this need is currently not being met due to three main reasons. As I mentioned, this data is currently commercial. It means that there is a capacity border. You basically need a PhD to know exactly what sort of data you should buy and how to access it and how to buy it. It's expensive. You need to buy every piece of data several times. Every single purchase is a new contract negotiations with its own administrative burdens and capacity concerns. And most importantly, perhaps, it's under specific license restrictions. Narrowly defined purposes for which the data can be used for specific things only, and only by certain actors. It's not open, it's not easy to use. It is at worst locked away and eventually forgotten on some remote server or in a drawer. So we had an idea based on the amount of money that we and other donors, institutions, ministries in countries, multilateral institutions and NGOs were already using to try to meet this demand and failing, that we could carry out one centralized procurement, one major big contract to try to purchase, well, as much data as we could get our hands on and make it available for all those users who needed to use it within our use cases. But then why am I talking about this when the topic is public good? This is because we found that with a marginally increased spending from our side, we could make this data ideally available not just for the forest community, but for all use cases and make it a public good. This sort of information is relevant for a lot more than forest. This kind of imagery that we're looking at here from the agricultural frontier in Brazil is usable for analysis of agricultural trends, for pests and drought prediction, for urban sprawl analysis, for nighttime electricity so light generation detection, and a number of other applications across the world. So this is our plan. I'm here to talk about something that's ongoing. It's not here, it's not an actual platform, it's not something that's live, it's something we're working on. We have received a parliamentary mandate to spend up to $50 million to try to create one giant public procurement of optical imagery of higher resolution across the tropical land masses and make it publicly available. Negotiations are ongoing, hopefully finalizing the entire process by March. We'll see how long the negotiations take. And if we are successful, which I hope we are, this should be made available for as many use cases as possible. Thank you.